What's up? Welcome back. Welcome to another episode of Three Sided Coin. I'm your host with the most, Corey D, here with my beautiful co-host.
Just breathe.
Yeah, she is still nervous. Camera shy. All right. Nothing wrong with that. She's still fly. All right. So now before we get started, all right, for the folks out there paying attention to this, if you're feeling the content, smash them three buttons below, that like button, that subscribe button, and that bell icon for notifications for upcoming shows. All right. And please leave a comment. Your comments are valuable to us. We love to hear your feedback and hear what you got to say about the topics and even drop some topics for us. All right. So here it
Please,
is.
please, please. Let me double down on that. Drop some comments because as much as we like to talk, we like to engage with others too.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So today's topic is one that it sits well with me. It's something that I had to really start saying out loud. Um, and I know a lot of people don't say it out loud. When someone asks you and you're down, you're distressed, you're feeling, you know, really, really sad inside, real deep, real heavy. You all right? You having a
I'm
moment?
good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but and when you're feeling down, you're feeling, real heavy, like the world is weighing down on you. And someone asks you, are you okay? We usually start off with I'm good or, you know, I'm all right. I mean? We brush it off, we try to downplay it and all. Well, I got to a place where, I just had to start saying it. So the topic of my show today is, what do you do when someone says to you or asks you the question, are you okay? And my response is, truthfully, my response now is no, I'm not okay, but I will be. Um, but why do we, and solve that question there, why do we deflect when, we know we're down and people ask us, are we okay? And we just push that off. Why do you think that happens with us?
For me, I've been mulling over that more recently myself because that is my immediate response. If someone asks, "How are you?" I'm good. Actually, I have
Right.
a motto. Stole it from a Lil Wayne song, but I always say I'm always
Mm.
good like grandma's cookies. But I reflected on that very deeply in the last year because I too had to admit out loud I am not okay, which is very difficult for me. But I deflect to that because of life experience. So
Mm.
even in the last year, with me admitting that out loud, the response there is none. It's either everyone has their own problems, or you just get a blank stare, or people start to distance themselves from you, especially if they feel like they had a role in you not feeling okay. So
Mm.
my life experience has told me like nobody's gonna put on a cape and come save me. Nobody's gonna fix the problem for me. No one's gonna heal the situation. There is no justice to be had. And so you suck it up, you put on your big girl panties, and you just push forward.
Mm. Yeah. I can't. I can only agree with that. Life experiences. You know, you're not young anymore. There's nobody to come pick you up. Help dust you off when you're down, or sometimes even just offer a hand to help you back up. You know, not unless you're really, really down, and then I'm not sure if it's meant in a great gesture to help you get past that time or just get that time out. When the boys will come through and they'll bring drinks and they'll sit with you and hey youngin, you gonna be all right, dog. You gonna be good. Drink this here and you knocking them back. But when they're gone, man, and it's just you and your thoughts. It's just you and your thoughts. So you know.
I literally, the first person I think I said that to was my own mother. And my family, like growing up, my family is interesting. They are supportive. Like if you're down, if your back is against the wall, they will come in and rally together to try to help you, try to save a person. But they're weird because they're also the same people who help get you in that corner. Um, but I was so taken aback because I finally got the courage to say it out loud. And the first person I said it to was my mom. And her response was, Brianna, you're fine. Your life is good. Like, and it was just like, okay. Like, I know, like, I'm not like at the lowest I've been at, but
Mm,
I'm telling you, emotionally, mentally, what you can't see, what you see is fine. But the parts you can't see, I'm telling you, I am fucked up. Fucked up.
mm,
And her response was like, no,
right.
you're fine.
Yeah, I've gotten that too. I've gotten that too. Like even when you tell them, people really, I think people are just conditioned to ask. I don't think they really want to know. I
Well,
do. Not in all
I
cases, not
think
in all cases, but in
no,
a
no,
lot of cases, a
no.
whole
But
lot of
even in
cases.
passing, but I'm very deliberate, even in passing. So you're walking through a store, the hallway, and you say, hey, good morning, how are you? And you just keep walking.
Hmm.
I always pause to listen to the response, and I pause to let the other person to signal to them that I am waiting on the response because so often people do that in passing. Think about your a typical day on the job. You walk past a colleague, hey, how you doing? Good morning, and you keep walking. No, people don't actually listen for the response, so no, they don't actually care about the response. It's just
Mm.
routine. It's just customary. It's what we do.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's where we are right now. Like, people ask, are you okay? It took me a long time to get to that place. So just to say, I'm not, I'm not okay. I had to get really, really dark. Um, I guess it started a long time ago. It got really, really dark. I was going through a whole lot, and when I guess fast forward some years, history felt like it was repeating itself, but it wasn't. But I had that same feeling, that dreadful feeling inside. And I was able to just, I don't even know who the first person I said it to it was. Someone asked, hey, you okay? And I just like, nah, I'm not okay. I'm not okay at all. But there was that caveat, but I will be. Like I knew, you know what? This is just passing. I will be okay. And they never asked. That's the thing. They never asked. I never talked to them about what was really, you know, going on inside, what was eating me up. But I don't know. I think we just, as a society, um, especially a Western society, because, we've lived abroad, we've lived in other cultures, but definitely from a Western societal standpoint, it's just customary conversation. We ask, and unless someone's really dear to you, you're really not investigating, going deeper. I think we need to start well, one, people first need to start saying out loud, I'm not okay. It's okay to say I'm not okay. But that next part is people need to listen and be able to see, all right, what can I do to help? What can I do to kind of bridge a gap, even if it's just being a soundboard? Because I'm thinking of all the people that weren't okay, that one, nobody ever asked them, or when they did ask them, they just brushed, themselves, they deflected. I'm all right, I'm good. And then you get that tragic phone call from someone, harming themselves. I kind of want to step in and we can stop that.
I said that when the DJ Twitch, his
Mm-hmm.
suicide took a lot of people aback and by surprise. And I made a long post, maybe the following day or whatnot, about that. Like the outpouring is as expected, and then here come all the posts. Check on your strong friends, as you should. However, that same attention and empathy and garniment that like somebody like Twitch or Robin Williams, that response that people gave, the point of my post, what I mentioned in there, is your people be right in front of your face, fucking
Mm-hmm.
dying,
Mm-hmm.
dying right in front of your face. And they can say, I am dying, I need help. And you don't have the same reaction to say, you'll be making a RIP post. I just saw them. I just talked to them. We've always been close. Like, can you not see? One of my sisters mentioned to me when I finally said it out loud, she said, yeah, I noticed for a long time. Like, you were not yourself. You didn't have the same personality, blah, blah, blah. But I just
Mm-hmm.
never said anything to you.
Yeah.
And here I am thinking, like, can they not see me? Can they not see that
Mm-hmm.
I'm different? They can't see that I feel unseen and unheard a lot of times. And for my sister to say that she did actually see me, but she never thought to address me. She never thought to bring it up to me.
That's another thought right there in itself. Like sometimes we can see that somebody's going through it. Like, um, it's weird, man, because even with my fam, we have conversations in spots because there's so many of us. We have conversation spots, but we know when somebody's not doing, or not themselves or something, and we might, hey, we talk to such and such. Why are we asking somebody else? Hey, have
Mm-hmm.
you talked to them? Have you talked to them? You know, let me go ahead and start. Let me reach out. Let me grab my phone. You know what? I'm not asking nobody else. If I'm curious about you, I'm calling. I'm calling. I made a point though, but I had to do this and make a point of it because I don't want to wake up to one of them ill-fated messages, or find out on some daggone social media, or get one of those, my parents give me the scariest phone calls ever because my parents don't call me. Whenever that phone
Mm-hmm.
ring and I see mom or dad across my thing, I'm like in panic, I'm like, oh, what happened? And it'd be silly stuff I get called for. Hey, give me a recipe or give me some groceries. I'm like, what? Oh, okay, yeah. But no, when it comes to family our age, friends that I've ran with for many a years, you know, hey, call and catch up, leave a message, shoot something. If they don't pick up the phone because they don't recognize the number, hey, shoot a text message. Hey, da da da, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I had one of my boys. I sent him a message a while back. He actually hit me back. Um, he was late though, but he was earnest. He was like, "Hey, I didn't even see this. I didn't even see this message you sent me, yo. I'm good." Or he didn't say I'm good, but more or less, my bad. I didn't see this message, And I'm like, no problem, but we catching up, We had opportunity to catch up. So, and I'm looking forward to catching up with him more and more, to see, just make sure he's good, and there's a lot going on in our lives. And I get it, we get busy, but we can't get too busy that we forget those people who were there with us through things that we built bonds with, that we have strengths with, you know. Like, heck, you and I, we took a vacation and from shooting episodes, and god dang, it was like, wait a minute, I'm not even talking to her right now. And we talk almost daily
Yeah.
at length, For those who don't know, that's how we got on this show. So anyway,
Yeah,
but
normally we talk almost every day. Yeah.
yeah, so it's like, yo, let's go ahead and let me holler. Let me see. Oh, you good? Like, I don't hear from you in a minute. You good? You hit me? Are you good? And we're at that place with each other. We can say, nah, I'm not, but I'm not. And then we can dive deeper, if
I think sometimes it's hard to admit it for a couple of reasons. One, I do
yeah.
genuinely have that belief. That also has been my life experience, that even when it looks like all the chips are down, my back is against the wall, like shit is really fucked up, like
Mm,
the universe and the ancestors love me. I always end up in a better position than the one
mm,
I left. And so I've learned to
mm,
trust that I will be okay. But in the
mm,
interim of it, like I'm in a really weird spot because what I'm not used to feeling anxiety at the level that I
mm,
have. And I spoke with you previous. I had a week where it was like really, really, really dark. And
yeah.
I'm not accustomed to that either. I never have gotten like that low emotionally. And I don't know, like I figured out a couple of things. So like being in a I'm not okay space now feels so much different. And I think honestly it's because of my own personal dynamics, like my environment, who I'm around, and those people know. Like I had a rough year last year. This year has been rough,
Mm,
but the year before was really rough. And the only people who
mm,
really knew the ins and outs, there were a few key friends who knew, but like my siblings and my parents were the only people who truly knew the ins and outs of like what I was feeling, how I was going through it, da 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 da. And so when I was distant from them physically, the level of concern and care was so genuine. And then when they asked me to return home and I come, and then it was just like offense after offense after offense, violation after violation. And it was like, you people
mm,
asked me to come here because you knew I was fucked up there. And then when I came here and I told y'all I'm fucked up, it was like, oh, okay, now you good. And then you continue to, I am in a really weird space right now because this is just blowing me. And my usual outlets, my sisters or my best friend, they're not, I can't trust those outlets in the moment. And I don't know what
mm,
to do.
mm. Yeah, yeah, that's a hard one. That's a hard one, man. I mean, when I think like I think I've become so different. Like we just
Yeah.
had, we had a great holiday weekend, Easter weekend, and I'm sitting there with one of my great nephews, and we're having this conversation, and I'm like, and I was just talking to him, and I was like, you know what? Let me stop. I'm different. I'm different, but I've always been different. But I'm way more different than now than I was before I left. And now that I'm back, it's like, yeah, everything around me is different. How I look at things is different. And sometimes it puts people off. They
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to respond. They don't know how to respond. They don't get why I laugh at everything. They don't get I have this thing. I call it the Joker. You know it. I laugh at everything, whether it's a good thing, I'm cracking up laughing. It's a bad thing happening, I'm laughing. It's like my own little coping mechanism, I guess. But I laugh at everything. I don't feel like crying about stuff anymore. I don't, that level of hurt, I just, laugh about it. At least, laughter is healing. So at least, been in a bad situation, I'm kind of helping myself heal. That's bringing a little bit of balance. But no, I don't be okay a lot of times. And, you know, it's, it's where do I put my mind? Where do I put my mind, and what do I put my mind and my focus on? Um, who can I reach out to? You know, I mean, I'm getting much older.
Mm-hmm.
All my friends are getting older with me. We got lives.
Yeah.
It's hard to like catch up. So, you know, it's like, what do we do, in the interim? You know, I mean, just do our best to keep up as much as we can. So,
We
um,
do. And that's been a little bit of a reprieve because I had a really tight sister circle when I was in Dubai. And yes, even in different countries, on different continents and
mhm,
different time zones, it's really key for us. And we make it a point to stay connected to each other because we just need that check in with each
mhm,
other. And that's where I get some reprieve. But I think the most complicated thing for me is for the past 30, well, I'm 36, but for like 35 years of my life, that was my most secure safety net. And I've always been kind of quiet, kind of introverted until you get to know me.
mhm,
But like as far as outside, I never had like a ton of friends. I never like wanted to be a part of the crowd. So my safety net was always my core family, my immediate family, because they actually always knew me. They understood me. They accepted me and they celebrated me. And it just feels like for the first time ever in my life, like you said, I know I'm different. I
mhm,
know that I don't think the same way and operate the same way as I haven't lived around my family since 2004. I come in and visit, of course, but that's a long span. And I feel like they don't really know me and they don't understand me. But it hurts because it doesn't feel like they're invested in understanding me and accepting me.
mhm.
It feels like
Right.
they've made a judgment on me and what I thought the way they regarded me versus what I now feel is just like a big blow. And that's a part of me that's difficult to share with other people. And that's a part of me that's difficult to heal. When it comes to someone else or anything else, my cutoff game is amazing, amazing.
Mhm.
Uh, but when it comes to my core immediate family, that's one thing I can't resolve within myself. Like if they're not good for you, then just don't be around them.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. You know me, I'm king, cut the bridge short, napalm it, put dynamite on it, blow it up. If I need to, nuke it. Yeah, cut off game. Yeah. Serious
But I
about
don't
it.
think even my sisters get that. Like, we were so close, like our entire life. So it's blowing me. I can't accept it. I need to accept it, and I can't.
Mm, I feel you on that. Feel you on that. So,
So I'm not okay. I'm never gonna be okay if the relationship with my sisters or my nieces like are not. It's not okay to me. It's not
mm,
okay.
right. I feel you there, man. Family runs deep, but no, there's no but in that, man. Family ties run deep. And our big thing is, man, we got to make sure that we're checking in and checking um, on each other. Not just the family you were born in, but the family you create outside, man. Make sure you're checking in. Find out how everybody's doing, um, and be that soundboard. Be that soundboard. You never know what's going on with somebody inside. And if you are hurting inside, man, talk to somebody. Don't just self medicate. Don't find
Right,
somebody
a
you can
little self
rap to.
meditation. Okay.
I mean, hey, if you out and about, sure, hit the bar. You know what I mean? Don't drink yourself up under the bar, and definitely don't ride home off of it. But definitely get somewhere where you can get some clarity. You can get some different points of views. You don't gotta put all your business out in the street, but I mean, it's weird. It's weird. Sometimes we find that we can talk to complete strangers so much more because than the people that are closest to us. And you know, man, that's that dynamic in itself. Like I've bonded with so many people over drinks over the years. Like, God dang, man, I got a slew of drinking friends, drinking buddies, but beyond that, I know nothing about their lives other than, what we exchange over a beer or over some shots. So anywho.
Well, since we're
uh,
solutions, we like solutions. How do you get to a resolve in that case? Like when your outlets, your safety net, yes, you have to look for that. And I do feel like I do get that um, in a lot of regard when it comes to like my friendships. I do get that care and concern and people checking in and noticing like, no, you're not moving the same way, something not right with you. But that I feel like that's just like one piece of my life. I'm very open and talkative about everything except for that's like my one that's my one
mhm.
thing. And I don't know like what are solutions when I feel like no, nobody else can resolve that. And now I'm finally to a point where I feel like I can't resolve it.
Mhm. So, all right. So, um, I think it's different for everyone. Finding an outlet, discovering yourself. The last dark time I had, I took a lot of time to myself. I didn't let a lot of people around me. I kind of just, I distanced myself, and to the point when I did start stepping back out into into the spotlight, to the light of other people and the social crowds and stuff. It was awkward for me. It was like, it was just awkward for me. Like, yo, here I am. And people were just like, yo, good to see you. Where you been? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, dog, I've just been, chilling, but for me, that time I use it to just kind of get to know me, get a chance to, reflect on myself, how I was, how I got to where I was, um, what are the things I really like to do. Um, Being true, I'm a true introvert. Like I could care less about social scene. I'm a true introvert. But you need to get out. You need to be able to get out. You need to be able to, and I can get out and do the work. That's not an issue. But truthfully, within myself, I'd rather just, be the me and mine. And it's funny because it's like Um, where do we, what do you do with yourself when you're in that dark space? Me, fortunately, I had other things that I could put my energy into, and I could put my focus, and that was, my craft, doing photography, doing videography, doing the editing, let me do this, writing. I started writing again. It was so much stuff that I was doing creatively, and I was fortunate to have that. But if you don't recognize that in yourself, man, that's a that's a hard pill, if you're just sitting there and you don't feel like you have anything or anyone that you can just go to, you can talk to, that's a hard one, man. Um, I would suggest, if you're in that dark space, first try to find something that you truly enjoy and you love to take you out of it. Something that you enjoy as an
Yeah.
individual, not something you can share with anybody else, something that you enjoy. Um, as long as it's not hurting nobody else. I gotta say that. As long as it's not hurting nobody else, something that you enjoy. And go from there, and like heck, reading books.
Yes, so underrated.
Rereading books, rereading books. Oh my gosh, me and the Alchemist became friends again. Me and the Four Agreements became friends again. I'm reading these things, and I'm putting some energy into it. And I'm like, yo, let me do some dynamic changes, some things that are gonna improve my situation. Working out helps. I know a whole lot of people don't like Andrew Tate,
Um,
this and that. That man's not lying when he says, yo,
did
for
you
real,
bring up?
go work out. Go work out, go exercise, go for a run, do something that's going to get your body going, that type of
Yeah,
stuff helps.
I hate working out. I hate working out, but it's true. But it's true. You should work out a little
Yeah.
bit.
I mean, look, go dancing. Go dancing. That's working out, but it's dancing. It's different. You don't gotta have nobody to dance, man. Go. You can turn on some music in your own house and just dance around. Turn on, put on what you like, dance around. Do something, be active, get your body going, get your blood flowing. You'll be surprised at how much energy you start getting, how much better you start feeling. And then reach out to others, reach out to other people to talk. And when you can't, or when you find that if people aren't as receptive to talking to you, then they're if it gets too heavy for you, find some services, man. Find some services. Matter of fact, I'll make sure that we put some services attached to this right here because we need it, man. As people, we need it. It makes no sense to have, that rate of people harming themselves to be so high. You know, we got to start being there for each other. And if we're not there for each other, we got to start finding ways that we can deal with things on our own. And I'm all for hey, give you some suggestions if possible. I mean,
I think
hey,
you hit on a couple of good points there. One, and it kind of circles back like why we don't even like to admit it. A lot of it has to do culturally. As a people, we don't get to admit if men said you're weak. Women, like, we just take on that stoic role. We have so many dynamics where you have to be the strong one. We talked a couple of weeks ago, maybe more than a couple of weeks, on one of the podcasts about how I don't feel like I have the luxury of getting too deep in a dark space, or at least not. I can't sit, I can't stop, I have to keep moving because I am the problem solver for my problems.
Mhm.
And so we just feel like, what's the point sometimes? And then religion. Oh no, you got to
Mhm.
take it to God. And, you can't be down and sad and depression. And I think we have to recognize it's a serious chronic issue in our community and
Mhm.
with our children. The
Oh
rate of
yeah.
depression in our
Mhm.
teenagers and preteens is high.
Yeah.
It's not a white people problem. It's not a white kid problem. Our kids are depressed. They're anxiety ridden, and it is a chronic issue.
Hmm.
We need to seek out therapy. We need to seek out more. I'm not saying ditch religion, but you need something in addition to that. And
Hmm.
seeking therapy. There are Black therapist. My mom forced us to go to therapy when my parents got divorced.
Mm,
And to me, it was counterproductive because the
mm,
therapist, a white woman, she literally didn't, it took her maybe 4 months to
mm.
understand when me and my sisters said we fought, that we physically fought. She thought we meant we argued. No, baby, we
Oh,
draw blood. Okay.
yeah. Yeah, no. When we argue, we argue. We got into a verbal argument. We'll let you know we
I didn't
argue.
say we argue. No, we was throwing down. Okay.
Right. No, no. Yeah, yeah.
I've been stabbed a
But
couple of times by a
if
sister.
there
Okay.
if there are any white therapists out there, this is the black dynamic. We throw hands. We
I
throw
mean, and
hands.
it wasn't until, because she would do different sessions, it wasn't until two of my sisters got into a fight in her lobby
Mm,
and tore some shit up. And she was like, she was really like, she was disturbed. I feel like we was counseling her that day. She was so
mm.
upset. And we like, it's just another day, another moment. Like, we get something to eat after this. Like,
Right.
and it took
But
her
that,
four
but
months to
it's
realize. She's like, no, when me and Ann argue, my sister and we just, I thought you meant you changed nasty word. No, this was lightweight, what you just witnessed right here. So you have to get someone who understands you culturally. But there's a whole network, like Corey said, we can drop the link where there are Black therapists,
hmm.
Black male therapists.
Yeah.
Because if I get back in therapy, no, I need somebody who go understand me culturally.
Hmm. Right. No, I agree with that right there, man. Yo, and yeah, if you are into that, man, if you are in a therapist, you know some, drop their contact in the comment section, man. We want to make sure that we can put out there for anybody that can, that can benefit, and I think we can
And
all
admitting
benefit
you're
from
not okay, like for me, my life is not bad. The other solution, don't let, because what tends to happen, we might have a super dark cloud over one or a couple of parts of our lives, but it overshadows every other sunshine in your life.
it.
And it
Hmm.
feels like everything is dark. And so it's important to not let, like, I know one area of my life is really fucked up right now and it's really dark to me. But then I have to keep in line, like, my life is not bad overall. There are other parts that are good, that are
Hmm.
full of sunshine, that do bring happiness and peace. And I have to find that balance of not getting so wrapped up in the darkness of that one space that it overshadows everything else. So another solution is try to find those happy moments, try to find those little nuggets of peace and
Hmm.
bask in them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then the final thing I wanted to address that you said, in the healing process,
Hmm.
I came across a reel and it hit so fucking hard because I think the other part of me being in a dark spot is this. I did change. I did take some time to myself. I did find last year I spent, or 2 years ago, I spent a lot of time by myself. I spent a lot of time praying for peace, a peace that passes
Hmm.
all understanding, because I felt like I was losing my mental sense of peace of
Hmm.
mind. Like I couldn't, it was getting away from me. So I prayed really hard for that. Now I didn't know I was gonna have to go through the ultimate test to get it. Be careful what you pray for. Uh, but I got to a point where it was comfortable and I found that peace and I found that healing by myself. And
Hmm.
now that it's time to connect with other people. Now that is the real test. That is the hard part. Getting back and you're a new person, you have this sense of peace, and you become so isolated in that. You become so comfortable in, like, I am rocking by me because that's safe, that you begin to be afraid to
Hmm.
let anybody else in and get close because you don't want to lose that. And so I have this real divide of wanting to deeply connect to other people in a new way, but I'm also so afraid to let anybody in. I'm so afraid to give up any of the peace that I prayed
Hmm.
for.
Hmm.
And so you have to, in that journey of seeking peace and that journey of healing, you can't totally isolate yourself. You can't, because then you'll have to go through that process of learning how to reconnect with people. And that can be just as painful and just as dark.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say this. you got to move in on. You got to move. You got to move with faith.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, faith and fear cannot occupy the same space. That is the absolute most truest thing
Ooh.
that I've learned when I was a little kid. My auntie used to say it to us all the time. Faith and fear cannot occupy the same space. You got to go out there and do it. You got to get it done, and you can't sit there and worry about what if. The next time I ever heard something similar to that, it was off of that documentary about the Bulls, um the Last Dance documentary, and they were talking about, they asked Jordan something to the effect of, do you worry about missing a shot? And his response was, why would I worry about a shot I haven't taken yet? Why would I worry about missing? I haven't done it yet. I gotta do it first, and if I miss, okay, now I gotta respond. That's where we got to get to. But I think a lot of times we get into our dark spaces because we don't move with that faith. We start grabbing the fear of what if and what if and what if. Yo, flip that what if over. Here's that three-sided coin. You're looking at the negatives of the what if, flip it over. You know,
Mm-hmm.
what if it goes in the opposite direction? Instead of what if it doesn't work out? What if it bankrupts me? What if it breaks my heart? What if it hurts me here? Flip that thing over. What if it makes you happy? What if it brings you the wealth you want? What if it elevates you to the place you're supposed to be? That's what we're supposed to be striving for. I think, as people, as individual people, as a society, you know, yeah, it's going to come with some ups and downs. Life is going to come with ups and downs. But how do you look at it? How are you looking at it? If I go into situations with way more faith, I start seeing the positives come out of it. If I walk into something with a bunch of fear, though, I'm looking for all the problems, and I'm gonna find all the
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hell, you ain't even got to find the problems. A lot of the problems will introduce themselves to you. Like, hey, problem. Hey, problem. Hey, problem. But here comes, the solutions. Here comes the good stuff. It will introduce itself to you as well in the form of opportunities, and you'll be like, I don't even know how I got here. Even right now, I don't know how we got here, but we're here, and I'm grateful for that. So, let's definitely try to find those positive things, and don't move in fear, man. Fear will keep you stagnant. It's like putting bricks around your feet, jumping in the water with a straight jacket on. You know,
Yeah.
it's just gonna keep weighing you down. That's fear. That's fear. And if you're doing counter to it, you're walking in faith. Even if you're afraid, but you're moving in faith towards something better, you'll start finding yourself coming out of some of those dark places. You know, and it may
And
take
take
some
the
time.
small victories. Yeah, the small
Yes,
W's.
yes.
Did you get up and comb your hair today?
Hmm.
Did you take a shower? Okay, take the
Man,
small
shoot.
W's.
You be surprised how a good shower and you groom
Yeah.
yourself up, it'll make you feel. I mean, I was looking rough for that time I took on my. I was letting it grow. I was looking scraggly, and then one day I went in and I cut it off, and I was like, "Dang, I actually look good again." And it was a reminder that, yo, you're a good looking guy. Not vain, but he was a good looking guy,
No, it
and it
does something for you. Yeah.
yeah, it made me feel good. It's like, you know what?
That's like I can, and then admitting it, like that whole fear factor. So I can say with the smile on my face, I'm not okay. But yes, for the most part, I get up, I go to work, I do go out. I went to a concert just this past weekend. I spend time with my family and friends. I keep moving. And so you can exist in duality. And it doesn't mean I'm a dark person, I'm a negative person. When you come around me, I'm just gonna be down and we only gonna focus on all the negative shit in my life. No, I'm with you, Corey. Whatever you pour your energy into, we got our three P's. If it ain't for our peace, purpose, and pockets, like whatever you focus on, whatever you pour your energy into, those are the things that will manifest in your life. So I can
Mhm.
still recognize and exist. There are some things that are troubling me that I need to really work through, but there are a lot of things that are okay, and a lot of
Mhm.
things that keep me going.
Right.
and a lot of reasons to not get sucked and stuck in that darkness.
Yep. And knowing that, you got folks that will reach out and, I don't hear from you for another week. Yo, hey, you good? I'm gonna start digging deep. I'm gonna start throwing there, hey, blah 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 blah. I'm gonna start just saying whatever. But just to get that, get that response. But we gotta do that with, do it with everybody. Even if you can't really talk to everybody in your circle, man. I would say here's a good challenge. Go through your cell phone, go through your phones and look for those names of people that you haven't talked to in a long time. And just even if you don't really want to talk to them, send them a message. Hey, I was thinking about you. I'm hoping everything's okay with you. How have you been? And just wait on a response. You'll be surprised, and you might not get a response, but you'd be surprised that, somebody may hit you back and be like, hey, but you don't know the impact that's going to have on the other side.
I was going to say, even if they don't respond, you don't know what receiving a message like that might mean to somebody.
Yeah. Like, here's a horrible, dark thought, but you could send a message to somebody that you haven't touched base with in a long time. And on the other end, them receiving that message is the difference between, them grabbing their phone to see, yo, somebody hit me with a message, and them having, on the other hand, something that's going to potentially cause them serious harm. You never know. They might feel that low and that dark. And here's that reach out. They'll be like, you know what? Let me go ahead and let me respond. Let me respond. And if they respond, yo, reply, give a little dialogue, and ask them, are you okay? Now, if you're on that other side and it's that dark and you get some random messages like that, or you get a random call in that very very dark moment, answer it, find out what that's all about, and if it's a positive, respond positively, you know but if nobody's reaching out before you take that negative, before you raise your hand to harm yourself negatively, grab your phone and reach out. You ain't got to do nothing but text by, hey, I'm not okay. People will respond. Somebody's going to
Yeah.
respond. Somebody's going to be there. You are not alone. And I think that's the one thing people get to a place they think they're alone. You're not alone.
Yeah.
I
And
think
opening
that's,
that up for a lot of people, in
mm,
most of my experience, that helps that feeling of being alone.
oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that
Absolutely.
alone is a huge weight lifted off, feeling like I am really in this by myself. That alone,
Yeah.
feeling like, okay, because I think in the beginning I said that to you. I actually did say that to you. I said, these people love me, but they don't give a fuck about me.
Mm,
And so it felt like, yeah, sometimes when I'm here, it feels like I do live on an island, even though I'm
mm,
always surrounded by people. So when I do have the people who are not physically close to me, someone like you, someone like my sisters, and they do say, hey, you good? What's going on? Da, da, da. It does make a difference, even if
yeah.
I don't respond.
Hmm. Amen. Amen. Love. We're gonna close it on that note. Um, Thank you for the conversation, the
Of
dialogue.
course.
As always, I love it, man. I absolutely love it. You know, and absolutely peace, purpose, and then pockets, man. Um, yo, we going.
We need that on a shirt, and we need to trademark that for somebody trying to take our idea, the 3P.
Hey, I'm on it already. I'll send it to you tonight. All right. Shoot, you think I'm playing? I'll be damned. All right. So, but anyway, um, definitely gonna hit you up. Um, yeah, we'll definitely talk after this, because we got some catching up to do. We've been on
Absolutely. And to our
vacation. We've
audience,
been on
please
vacation.
share out. Like, we want to know, what are your tips? What do you think? What we want to hear from you too. So please comment.
Comment, absolutely. Comment, give feedback. Love it, man. We looking forward to it. And
And we looking for some help for ourselves too.
hey, yeah, shoot, always use it. Always use it. All right, love. I'm Corey D for the three sided coin.
And I'm just Bree.
All right. And we out. Hey, make sure y'all reminder, make sure if y'all like the episode, man. Again, smash that the three buttons below, that like, that subscribe, and that notifications button. And much love to you. Peace.
Peace.